Hello, everybody. NC4XL, North Carolina for Extreme Lovers. I had an interesting comment on one of my YouTube videos, and I'm going to not let this one rest. I'm going to actually look at it and give you an answer, try to help you out. So, you are brand new and you live in Jonestown, whatever. I'll just pick a name of a city, and you have some parks out by your house. But they're not POTA parks, okay? They are regular, I'm going to use the term city parks or county parks or municipal parks that the folks in town go to, have picnic tables, gazebos, things of this nature. But they're not under the Parks on the Air POTA entity. And you're wondering how. Well, let's start this way first. All POTA parks have to meet the credentials or criteria that POTA has set up. And to the best of my understanding, it is state owned, not city or county owned. That's number one. But where I'm going to do is stop and direct you to the following. If you are living in a foreland, then you would send the information of the park, the name of it, and if you can, even we'll use a term, grid square where the park is located at. Send that to your mapping coordinator. Send that to your mapping coordinator, not the help desk. If you go to the POTA page, you'll find an administrative section which there will be listed the park representatives, the mapping coordinators who I'm referring to. And that's where you would send this information to. Now, again, remember, this is all volunteer work that each one of us do. These volunteers have more than likely a full-time job along with their hobby. And they've volunteered to do the research, and many times there's a lot of extensive research that goes into verifying a park if it qualifies for POTA, Parks on the Air criteria. Now, please do not be offended by this next statement. It's not your criteria because it's convenient to you. Okay. It has to meet the criteria that POTA, Parks on the Air, has established, and that's the guidelines that they follow. Many parks are added because of folks like you, because they found another park that is not in it, and further research on that particular park, after followed up, it is found to either be yes, and it will be added by the mapping coordinator only. And if not, it will not be added. We have over 60,000 parks, ladies and gentlemen. We have at present over 60,000 park entities. And no, that's not including the county and the city and the municipal parks. That's the parks that meet the criteria. And with us going overseas, I use that term, across the water, the number of park entities is just continually growing. So you may not have close in parks to you. And I can feel your pain if you have to drive to them. I have to drive, generally speaking, an hour, except for one park that I have. My heart goes out to the folks on the West Coast and the Midwest, where they don't have the concentration of parks like we do on the East Coast, or like some of your DX entities or DX countries have. But again, the parks are added after meeting the criteria that Parks on the Air has established. Please don't get offended or post something that says, hey, well, they just won't look at this one. They look at every one. They may not respond because if 65 people say the same park is a possibility and it's been found not to be, it will not be added. But the many parks that are added come from folks such as you watching this video who are new and don't quite understand the guidelines. Okay. But I appreciate your question. I just don't want you getting upset because, well, they should, because they have an established set of guidelines. I know I focus on that because that's what we have to remember. All these volunteers have to follow the guidelines that were set up. And I thank the mapping coordinator. I'm fortunate that I know one in North Carolina. There's many folks that work with mapping, coordinating the parks. And many of us don't even know who they are. They work silently in the background doing the research. Sorry for a lengthy answer, but I don't want to be short and make you feel that your question is not valid. It's a very valid. But after the question's asked, it's time to let the folks in the mapping coordinating section for all call areas do their job. And when you get a new park, generally it'll be posted in many platforms to make everybody aware of that new park. NC for Excel, North Carolina for Extreme Lovers. I'm not. Just the old man sticking his nose in business, but I'm just trying to answer some of the questions. The number of new people that we get every day, the same questions will be asked, and we'll try to politely present an answer so that everybody understands. May God bless.